we go from there. You ready then, mate? Yeah.
Good.
Let's go. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. Welcome back to another Everton live show. I haven't done one of these in a while. I do apologise. We are joined by Jordan again. The dynamic duo has returned. Me and Jordan done a load of these Everton live shows over the last year or so, and we're back to do another one. We're going to talk about that game against Manchester City yesterday, a 3-1 defeat at Goodison Park against the side who, let's be perfectly honest, they're just absolutely exceptional. And we'll have a little bit of a discussion about the Merseyside Derby at Anfield, which is, of course, coming up this Saturday night. Not a great fixture to be coming into after two disappointing defeats. I think more so, obviously, the Fulham defeat than the City one. Don't get me wrong, it was disappointing, but they are absolutely exceptional. But we have to play them at some point, and we haven't beaten them at Anfield in however many years, so I don't think it really matters when we play them, to be honest with you. Jord, before we get into any of that, mate, how you doing? How's things?
Yeah, all good, mate. Thanks. Sorry if I'm a bit late, everyone. That was my fault. My Skype was messing up, but yeah, I'm all good, mate. Not bad. How are you?
Good stuff. I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. There's technical issues. We always have technical issues. If you've ever watched me on the Mighty Blues, there's a technical issue every single live stream, mate, so I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, I'm all good, to be honest with you. In relatively high spirits after last night. I think, you know, it was always going to be a very difficult game of football. It was always going to be a massive, massive test. And I don't think any Evertonian really sort of would have felt too disheartened by that performance last night. Yes, it's frustrating because of the result against Fulham, and you do sort of sit there and think, if only we'd have put in that level of performance that we did in the first half last night against Fulham on Sunday, we might have come away with something. But they are just a very, very good side, aren't they? Talking about Manchester City, of course, they are just an absolutely exceptional footballing team. And you know, although we stayed in the game in the first half and we managed to battle them, and you know, obviously we got the goal back and we had a couple of opportunities going forward as well. In the second half, they just sort of stepped the foot on the gas a little bit, and we just couldn't deal with that. We really couldn't deal with that. What did you make of last night then? Was it one of them that you sort of think you'd have to just sit back and go, you know what, it is what it is. We were beaten by a much better side and it's not too disheartening? Or is it sort of a bit more frustrating for you because of, you know, the result on Sunday against Fulham, where you're sort of thinking, you know, we ideally could have done with getting something out of yesterday?
I don't think we played as bad as a lot of people might be making out. First half, I thought we'd done all right. It was more when he made the substitutions towards the end of the game. I thought we just felt flat.
Yeah,
I know they were 2 off at the time, but I think it just changed everything, and I didn't see any way back into it for us. Tom Davies was having a good game, I thought, and he just dropped Gylfi Sigurdsson there. Can't do it.
Yeah,
not here to pick on him. I'm not saying that, but I thought we were doing okay. I mean, like you said, they are a fantastic football inside. They had Kevin De Bruyne on the bench, mate.
Yeah.
It's just, well, I mean, we're bringing, you know, Josh King on, who have just signed from Bournemouth, and they're bringing on Kevin De Bruyne. So, yeah, it's one of them. They're a fantastic team, obviously fueled by a lot of money.
Yeah.
Can't have too many complaints. I just wish we would have put a better performance in on Sunday more than last night. Because that was just frustrating Sunday, but. Yeah, it was always likely that they were going to beat us, wasn't it? I mean, I always think positive for every game, but back in my mind, you'd always think it is Man City, and there's a high chance you're not going to win the game.
Yeah.
Not even if you're just Everton, depending on whoever you are.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, I wish, like, I know we're defending against Chelsea at home, Arsenal at home and stuff, but we had a bit of something else going forward there, I thought. Yeah. I don't think we had that last night.
No, I agree.
I think he just put the whole backs to the wall, really.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to hit them on the counter and stuff. I know we did have a few opportunities, but there was something different about last night compared to them games, I thought.
Yeah. No, I agree, absolutely. And I think you raised a really good point about us changing the game. And don't get me wrong, look, you know, Carlo Ancelotti taking Tom Davies off and putting Gylfi Sigurdsson in defensive mid, I think personally is a really poor decision. It might not have meant any different. Look, Tom Davies might have stayed on for the 90 and City would have probably still found a way to score a second and a third because they are exceptional. And I said this in my instant match reaction yesterday, and I had a couple of comments saying, oh, Cam, they're just brilliant, they're just exceptional, they force you to make mistakes, they force you to make errors. Mahrez's goal is just absolutely quality. But I sat there and I said, I think we helped them by making stupid defensive mistakes. I don't think Manchester City are a side that you necessarily have to help to score goals. I mean, they've scored something like 30 goals in the last 15, 16 games. We don't have to give them room to take shots from outside the box, or we don't have to watch players completely waltz past us. So I agree, mate. I think the decision to take Tom Davies off and put Gylfi Sigurdsson in defensive midfield, I'm not even going to go into Gylfi Sigurdsson, to be honest with you, because it's not his fault. Carlo Ancelotti has to take the stick for that. And I've seen, you know, obviously football fans are very reactionary and we've lost a couple of games, so Twitter's at a wonderful place at the moment. But I'm not obviously Carlo Ancelotti out or anything like that. He's the best manager we've had in my lifetime, and he's done brilliant things for this football club so far. But that again for me was another baffling decision yesterday. We could sit here all day and talk about how Gylfi Sigurdsson can't defend. We know he can't defend. I don't have to tell you that. Jordan doesn't have to tell you that. None of the other lads that come on the channel have to tell you that. Gylfi Sigurdsson can't defend. He should never be placed in a defensive midfield role. Tom Davies, completely agree with Jordan, was having a decent game. Were we controlling the ball? No. Were we being overrun? Probably, yeah. Were Man City likely to score a second anyway? Probably. We could have had Tom Davies on, we could have had Alan on, they'd have probably still won that game of football because they're much, much better than we are. But I just think we helped them with silly decisions like taking Tom Davies off and putting Sigurdsson in defensive midfield, like allowing Riyad Mahrez onto his favoured left foot and letting him hit it from outside the box, like Gylfi Sigurdsson just watching Bernardo Silva walk past them, and then Michael Keane defending like you're on pro clubs and you don't know which bloody player you've got in control of, just not there, you know, at all. Jordan Pickford palming it into his own net. So I think we helped them, but ultimately I agree, Jord. I think ultimately when you come into a game like Manchester City, you are sort of thinking, right, let's show reaction, let's battle, let's try and get something out of this game. But that second half just showed the gulfing class between both sides. They stepped it up a level. We couldn't keep at them. Their energy was there off the ball. They were excellent. Their movement off the ball was brilliant. Not one City player was standing at any point in the game. There was no stagnant City players. They were all moving constantly, moving off each other. Even without the ball, they were moving around the pitch. Whereas we've got, you know, the likes of Gylfi Sigurdsson who just stands and points. So, you know, that second half was, they ran away with it and we were very much chasing shadows. And I agree, you look at their bench and they've got, you know, Kevin De Bruyne to come off the bench, Sergio Aguero, I don't think they used to come off the bench. They're just head and shoulders better than Everton, let's be perfectly honest. And there's nothing embarrassing about losing that game. But I'm with you, George. I think if we'd have beat Fulham and got the 3 points there, come into this game, we'd have probably been sitting here tonight going, you know what, it's a defeat. You never accept a defeat. You never want to lose a game of football. But that, you can understand that. They're much better than we are. They seemed a lot fitter as well, which may be a little bit more of a worry, because ultimately these are all still, you know, Everton's side was still 11 athletes who have paid a lot of money to train day in, day out, and play week in, week out. So whether that's, they just seemed a lot fitter because they're better players and they're better athletes and they get about the pitch more, and that's why they're playing for a team like Manchester City, I don't know. But they did just seem a lot fitter. We seemed to, certainly after that second goal went in, I think it was just game, set and match by then. We just completely shut down. So look, it wasn't the end of the world, was it? You know, certainly not that first half. I suppose it was better than Fulham, mate. It was a slight reaction, certainly in terms of the performance in the first half. We stood to Manchester City. We were battling them. We actually, you know, we went for the kill a little bit at times. We were getting forward. It shocked me a little bit because we conceded the first goal, and that was the point where I thought, right, we're just going to crumble here. We're going to go everyone at the back, and we're just going to try and defend, you know, to not lose embarrassingly. But we didn't. We conceded, and we sort of went, no, you know what? We can get back into this game. We're going to get forward. We're going to create. We're going to sort of try and, you know, pin Manchester City back a bit. And you look at the likes of Decore, who I thought was excellent in the first half. Michael Keane, I thought, had a really good first half. Tom Davies, Alex Iwobi. What changed in the second then, mate? Was it that Ancelotti decision, or do you just think they stepped it up and we just couldn't keep up with it? And I suppose, does fatigue come into play? You know, obviously there's been a lot made of the amount of games we've played recently and the tiredness of the players, the likes of Decore, who hasn't stopped playing for the entire season. Do you sort of take that into consideration, or do you just think, no, these are professional athletes, professional footballers, fatigue doesn't come into the conversation?
No, they are definitely fitted, and as the movement, like you said before, just unbelievable. And they just had the energy, didn't they? I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're probably all faster players than our squad as well. Like, I don't want to keep bringing them up. Gylfi Sigurdsson isn't the fastest person in the world.
No.
Tom Davies, as well as he played, he's going to get out. He was probably getting outrun because he's he hasn't got the pace of all them players. Like, you know, they're just some of the movement around our box was unbelievable at times. I mean, I think we that first half we defended well because there was a lot of moments where I thought, oh my god, they're going to score here because the movement was that good around the box. But I think it just showed the fatigue second half. And look, Decore has played a lot of games lately, so it's obviously going to come into it. I mean, I can't just say that there's no excuse. He's an athlete because it is going to take its toll eventually. I mean, he is training every day as well. You know, you've got to take that into consideration and stuff. But I think it was just they're just look, mate. At the end of the day, they're just better than us, and that's the main point I can put on it. They're just a better team than us.
Yeah, spot on. And this isn't just any Manchester City side. This is a Manchester City side who I think have won 16 on the bounce now. I talked to a couple of Manchester City lads on I think it was Tuesday morning about the game coming up, and I said the one thing I've been most impressed with City this season is, you know, we all know that City are a very good attacking side, and they always have been a very good attacking side, at least for the last 8 to 10 years, but one thing they've really nailed down on this season is defensively. They don't concede many goals. I mean, Richarlison's goal was the first goal they've conceded in open play for about 6 or 7 games, maybe even longer than that, 10 games or so. They conceded the penalty at Anfield, that was it, so they don't concede many goals whatsoever. And the game, I think, played out as we all expected. They had, 90-odd% of the ball, something like that. They broke at us quickly. And I think the game plan was very much like Chelsea, very much like Arsenal, Leicester away, to defend and then hit them when we can on the counter-attack. And I agree, I think we seemed more cautious than we did against those other sides, against Man City. And that's understandable because, you know, Chelsea might have hit us a couple of times on the counter and made us pay. If we opened too much up to that Manchester City side in the first half, it could have been light and day by half-time. It really could have been. But I think they gifted us a couple of chances. I think they were passing, their passing was a little bit off at times. You know, they allowed Abdoulaye Doucouré had one where he plays a good ball to Lucadini, plays it back over, and Doucouré's just caught in two minds. Obviously, we had the goal, which I can't believe how many people I'm seeing on Twitter and social media, City fans and other football fans, saying, oh, Everton dominated against City, scored a lucky goal, but that was it. Yet the second half was not even a competition, because, like me and Jordan have just said, fitness was just, it was levels above for Manchester City. But that goal wasn't a lucky goal by any stretch of the imagination. It's lucky the fact that it bounces off the post and it's Richarlison who's standing next to it and hasn't got a clue. But the ball from Iwobi into Coleman is brilliant because there's 2 Manchester City players standing on Iwobi expecting him to dink it over the top, and he doesn't. He plays it along the floor to Coleman. Coleman's chip to Dean's fantastic, and if Dean volleys that in, we're all sitting here talking about an excellently well worked goal. Comes off the post, Richie's in the right place at the right time. So I was impressed with Everton in the first half. I thought we showed more confidence than I originally thought we would. Like I said, there was a little bit of a no fear sort of element to it, but then we went in at half time 1-1, and it was always going to be a case of they're going to step it up a bit. Can we compete with them stepping it up? And we just couldn't. And there's not much shame in that whatsoever. There isn't. It's the games like Fulham where we just could not be interested, could not be bothered, couldn't be interested in turning up. That frustrated. I mean, I done a little just a little calculation today, Jord, about the games that we've lost, and I wasn't even taking, look at the games we've dropped points in this season, let's say. Forget Man United at Goodison, because they're a decent side. Forget Liverpool at Goodison. Forget even West Ham and Southampton, who are teams that we should be beating, but Southampton at the time were doing well. West Ham are still doing well. Fulham at home. We're on 37 points now. Fulham at home, Newcastle away, Newcastle at home, Leeds at home, Burnley away. 6 fixtures there, all of which we expected to win going into them, all of which we should have been winning, and if we'd have put in a better performance, we would have won. If we get those points, I think we're second in the league, judging off what it is currently at the moment. And we're not competing with City, as yesterday showed. We can't compete with City, but we're second in the league, competing with everybody else. So that's the frustrating element, isn't it, George? It's not necessarily yesterday's performance and result, because they are a level above us and a level above everybody else in the league. It's the performances like Fulham on Sunday, like Newcastle a couple of weeks ago, like Burnley in November, that really, really make it frustrating. But we have to keep reminding ourselves it's a transition season, don't we? And we've got another summer to go, yeah.
Mate, I was just about to say that, because we finished 12th last year.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, Ancelotti is still very early in his Everton career, and it's not going to just turn into champions overnight or top 4 overnight. Now, I know we've been starved of success for years, but it's a new manager, and I know we've given a lot of managers a chance, but unfortunately that has to start again with a new manager, and you just got to be patient to see where he goes. It is a transitional I don't know if it's a transitional season, but it's more of a I think we all would have just liked to see us improve after last season, wouldn't we? Because it was that bad last season. I think we all would have been happy at the start if we just said, yeah, Everton might get top 6, top 7 there. You got 12 last year. And we're still in the quarterfinals of the cup, you know. It's not. I think we're 5 points off 4th, is it?
We're 3 points off them lot, with a game in hand still.
Yeah, they're 5th, like.
Oh, have they gone down? Have they?
Yeah. So we're 5. I think we're 5 points off 4 for the game in hand, and in the quarterfinals of the cup. Look, it was only a week ago we were all upbeat and everything just before the game, wasn't it? So, look, we're just going to get them games this season. That's the end of it. I'd like to think next season is the one where we will start beating these teams because Carlo will have an even better squad. I'm imagining. But he's only really had one main window where he signed a few players there. So it's as long as we see progress this year. I think we're all more disappointed because of the start we had. Maybe because we were like top of the league after 4 or 5 games. So it is disappointing to drop against them teams. But you know, you've got to remember as well. I mean, I don't think any of us thought that was going to last forever. You've just got it's a progress. And it is frustrating, but it's probably going to happen. Along the way, we're going to have bumps in the road, and that's the way it is.
I agree, and I think the frustration with us fans comes with the inconsistency as well. You brought up a really good point there, Jordan, about the start of the season and how well we started, and I think the frustration when we lose to sides like Fulham and Newcastle at home, etc., is because we know that we turned up against a difficult Chelsea side and beat them at Goodison Park and defended excellently. We turned up against the Leicester side away from home and beat them and defended really well. A Leeds side who were good going forward, beat them comfortably. Wolves away. So I think the inconsistency, and I think, to be fair, I think it's not just the fact that we're losing games, it's the fact that the attitude doesn't seem right in those games that we're losing, the spirit doesn't seem right. I spoke last week after the Fulham defeat about Carlo Ancelotti and you know, him constantly using the word spirit, and I said Alex Iwobi done an interview after the Leeds win, and he was asked about you know, he was obviously asked about the Leeds win, and he was asked about the Newcastle defeat, and he said we took our foot off the gas a little bit. He didn't say the words we became complacent, but he practically said we became a little bit complacent. We overlooked the opposition, we lost the game, we learnt our lesson, we went out and we beat Leeds. And I sat there when I heard that interview and thought, sound, you've admitted there that you maybe overlooked the opposition a little bit, you maybe took your foot off the gas because you thought it'd be a more comfortable win. You got your face wiped, and then you turn up next week and you don't put in you don't put in a performance like that. You turn up, you'd expect to win, and you win, and you put in that performance that warrants that. And I was thinking, that's fine if you don't make that mistake again. But it seemed like we beat Leeds, we got a well-earned point at Manchester United, which was excellent. We beat Tottenham in the Cup, which again was another sort of result and performance that Everton don't usually do. And then we turn up against Fulham and we do exactly what we did against Newcastle. We overlook them, we don't look interested, there's no spirit, there's no fight, there's no determination. It looked like we thought we were, we'd won that game before the first whistle had even been blown. It looked like we thought the players were in the dressing room doing the dancing and having a laugh prior to the game, thinking this will be a comfortable win, and then we got our arses handed to us again. I spoke about teams like Man City, and we seen this yesterday, and not just teams like City, but champions and teams that win leagues and win European competitions, and you'd always hear the different players and managers interviewed after the game. And Man City are 13 points clear now, and you'll hear Pep Guardiola interviewed on Sunday or Saturday when whoever they beat then, and if they win, he won't say, yeah, we're going to win the league, yeah, we'll run away with this now, this is comfortable. He'll say, no, we focus on the next game, it's all about the next game, we focus, and that's what teams like Manchester City do, and that's what champions do, and that's what teams that are winning titles do, is they look at their next opposition and they act as if it's a cup final, be it Fulham away, be it Brighton at home, be it Manchester United at home, they look at every opposition and they think, right, this is our biggest game of the season, this is our final, we have to go out, we have to be ruthless, we have to be relentless, and we have to win. And that's why Man City are on a 16-game win streak, because every game they come into, they think, this is the biggest game of our season, we need to win it, we need to play, you know, at our best level, and they do that, and then they win, and they move on, and they adopt the same sort of theory in the next game. Do you sort of think that the attitude maybe, and maybe the complacency of some of our players is to blame for some of those defeats this season? Because it is frustrating when you look at Chelsea at home, Leicester away, Leeds away, basically every game away from home, and then you look at Fulham at home, Newcastle at home, and you think, why are we not turning up and showing that fighting spirit in those games, but we're doing it in the tougher games?
Yeah, no, it is frustrating. When I say there's bumps in the road and stuff, you'd like it not to be against them teams, but there is some players in that squad you've got to realise still that Carlo, saying that, he keeps playing some of them, like, but I mean, I think for every James Rodriguez, you've got your Gylfi Sigurdsson, you know, Gomez. I've never been a fan of them. They're still got them type of players who just, I don't know, just are very inconsistent, and when they're inconsistent, it unbalances the whole team.
Yeah.
So I'm not pinpointing them. It is me that, like, I do the player ratings on the channel, and Gylfi Sigurdsson rarely gets over a 6. You know what I mean? Andre Gomez rarely gets over a 6. Yeah. I think I've given Gylfi a few 3s and stuff in the past. So I think when Carlo gets his full squad, it'll be well more finely tuned. But when these players are having off days and not turning up, which has been one too many times more than often, the whole squad gets upset. Yeah. So but I don't know, it's just an hard one to put your finger on. It's just frustrating as a fan to see that. I mean, like you said, we just scored 5 against Tottenham and put all our effort in, and then just can't be bothered for Fulham. But it's just frustrating as a fan, really, isn't it? Yeah,
no, I agree, absolutely, 100%. And I suppose to add even more frustration, I don't know if any other Evertonian felt like this. I don't know if you felt like this, Joel, but I sort of knew that would show a reaction yesterday. I didn't necessarily think we'd win, because I said even if we give it 110% and even if we put in the best performance of the season, we still could very easily lose that game because they're a very good team, talking about City. But I knew would show a reaction. I knew would show more fight. I knew would show more intensity in the middle. I knew would show more about us, and we did. And that's the frustrating thing, because you know, we shouldn't just be turning up in these big games and showing that. We should be showing it against the lesser teams. And if we'd have performed against Fulham like we did in the first half yesterday, we'd have been light years away from them within 45 minutes. And I suppose that's one of the other biggest frustrations. Let's get in the comments then before we talk briefly about the Merseyside Derby. Wormy says, you messing with me, Cam? Hey Jordan, I've been watching some of your vids, got some recommendations for you. Flash of Genius, What Dreams May Come, The Fountain, Mr. Nobody, and Are You on the Raised by Wolves? What a show. There you go.
Nice one.
Few recommendations for you there.
I'll go back and write them down.
I think the live chat stays on after the stream, so you'll be able to do a little Wormy special review there. Everton fan says, do you think Coleman will start versus Liverpool since Mina could be out? Yeah, I do. Because I just can't see who else is going to play along that back line. Godfrey will be in there. Keane will be in there. Dean will be in there. So probably Seamus, maybe Mason. I don't know. But I would.
I've got a feeling he might. You know.
Don't you? Do you think it'd be Mason Holgate right back?
Dean, Keane, Godfrey, Holgate, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Potentially.
I think Carlo might think it's because every time we've played Dean and Coleman, we always seem to concede more goals. I think. Yeah. I mean, when that back four, or with one of them, we concede less. I don't know, but I've just got a feeling he won't play both the fullbacks.
Yeah, fair enough. Women says we need to stop this defensive malarkey. Sit back far too much and are better when we have some balls in attack. It's okay sitting back, but there is no plan when we get the ball. Just kick it back to the opponent. We did do that on a couple of occasions yesterday.
Done it loads yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We didn't, again, like I said before, you know, we can talk all we like about how great Manchester City are, but they don't need a hand in winning games of football, and that was one of the big things we did, was constantly give the ball away. When we had it, we just gifted them back to them, and we didn't need to do that. Bobby LaRosse says, what's the shame in losing to a team who beat our nosy neighbours 4-1? Scoring a goal is a mini achievement in itself. There's no shame in last night. There's no embarrassment in last night. It wasn't the worst performance. We didn't embarrass ourselves, but it's frustrating when we show that level of fight and we show that we can't stand up to a team like Manchester City because they ran away with it in the end, but we can at least hold them back for 45 when we can't even hold back a Fulham side who were in the relegation zone for 90. William says, you have to accept a lot of Prem teams have quality, the likes of City, Liverpool, Chelsea and such. Really, sorry, probably not going to keep clean sheets. You have to plan to outscore as well as defend. Defending ain't enough, fair enough. Union says Everton hold talks with Rabiot, and Wayme says, I will take a loss to City, Bobby, but I don't want to see us just cover up and take the beating. If you're going to lose trying to win. Very, very fair point, very fair point. Well, there's a nice point there that leads us on to another game of football on Saturday night, mate. Just a game of football that we want. Who are we playing? I think I can't put my finger on it. Just exactly what we want 3 days after, you know, playing the side that are going to run away comfortably with the league and then, you know, chasing shadows for 90 plus minutes. We play Liverpool at Anfield, Merseyside Derby. Yeah. Great, innit? Footy's proper great, innit? Look, I don't want to talk too much about the stats going into the game because for me it goes out the window. It really does. Obviously Everton are very good away from home this season, have been very good away from home. Our last couple of fixtures, a win against Leeds in the Premier League, of course, got that point at Old Trafford, which was a massive point, very much needed. We've beaten Wolves, we've beaten Leicester, we've beaten Sheffield United, who were desperate for a win at the time, we've beaten Tottenham on the opening day. Very good away record this season, which is a positive because I'd rather it be at Anfield than Goodison, to be honest with you, at the moment. And Liverpool at home, I don't think they've won in 5 games, lost to Burnley, Brighton and Manchester City in the last 3 Premier League games at Anfield. But does any of that matter, really? Because we went into the first derby at Goodison off 7 wins out of 7, 4 out of 4 in the Premier League, top of the league. They come into it after having their arses handed to them by Aston Villa, and within the first 10 minutes, they just turned it on, and we just looked like we couldn't cope. So, does any of that matter? Yeah, they scored in the first 5 minutes, yeah. And, okay, we showed a lot of fight to get back into the game, but it was a real struggle, let's be honest. So, does the away form matter? Does their bad home form at the moment matter? Does any of it really matter, or is it just going to be another very difficult, tough game? And I suppose, as well, is this one of our best chances of beating Liverpool at Anfield in a long time?
None of it matters, mate, because, like you said, the last one we won 7 out of 7. They'd just been battered by Aston Villa. I think it was our Kendall's birthday. Yeah. It was 10 years to the day since we beat them 2-0 at Goodison. And we still didn't win.
Yeah, yeah, and we weren't even the better side on that day.
You know what, mate? We were quite lucky in the end as well. I
Yeah.
thought, I even when I seen that VAR, I went, he's definitely giving it.
Yeah,
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But you know what, mate? If we're ever gonna beat these at Anfield, the time is now because there's no fans there.
Yeah.
For a start, and Liverpool fans and derbies play a big part, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like to predict this one at all. I mean, I think me and you have done 4 derby previews in the past, and you've asked me every one of them, can we beat them? And I've said yeah every time. This one, I might as well say yeah, no, maybe, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
This season is mad.
Yeah, that's it. I think one thing I would take out of it is that Carlo Ancelotti's only managed 1 derby at Anfield. We won't talk about it, but he hasn't managed 1 in the Premier League so far. Like you mentioned, the fans are a 12th man at Anfield. They really are. They've got no fans in there. We have been much better away from home. Do you sort of think, in terms of our away form, just to touch on it briefly, do you think we sort of step it up away from home? Do you think we are maybe a little bit more focused? Do you think we maybe think, right, we're against the walls a little bit here, and that's why we perform better? What is it? Just another one of them that you think, I don't know, why are we well better away from home than we are at Goodison this season?
I don't know, mate. It could be something to do with the fans, because we couldn't win an away game to save our lives a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But then again, there's no fans at home. It's just a weird season. I don't think anyone quite knows the answer to that. I don't think any Everton fan knows the answer to that one.
Yeah.
I think we probably are more focused because we've got to concentrate more. Just the thought at the back of your mind that we're away from home. So your concentration levels go up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would, like you said, I'd definitely be. I'm definitely happier to play them at Anfield in this game than Goodison, for sure.
Yeah.
No, we haven't won there for 20 odd years. Just the way our away form is this year, I think I'd rather play them at Anfield for sure.
No, I agree. We've got more chance of beating them there than we have at Goodison, put it that way, because I think we've lost our last 5 at Goodison, which is worrying and needs sorting. Obviously, the news, I think John, or it might be Tom in the comments, says, looks like Alan might be playing in the derby, apparently rested last night. Carlo Ancelotti come out and was asked about Alan and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as well as Yerry Mina. He said that Yerry Mina's not likely to play. He's got a calf issue that he obviously picked up in last night's game, but he said that he expects Alan and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to be fit to start. He actually said that Alan missed yesterday because they decided to give him an extra couple of days training rather than play him and give him a little bit more rest ahead of Saturday night. So they're going to be massive, aren't they, mate? Alan's been exceptional this season and been a massive miss. I also think the return of Alan will see the end of this constantly changing defensive midfielders and having Sigurdsson playing in defensive midfield when he shouldn't be. And then Dom, I mean, he's our goal scorer this season, isn't he? If anybody's going to score a winning goal at Anfield, it'll be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So how important is it for you, do you think, to have those two back and hopefully fit enough to start?
Oh, imagine we went into the derby with Sigurdsson up front, mate. No.
That's just sent a shiver down my spine, that, mate.
Yeah. No, me fiance started watching the games with me because we're just stuck in the house, aren't we? And all she said is Dom playing? Because you need him, don't you? And I'm like, definitely fancy him.
Yeah. Is she not wrong, though?
Yeah, she, on the other hand, I was going to say she's right, isn't she? Because we definitely need him. Definitely. If he plays, I fancy our chances a little bit more. If not, I'll be happy with a draw, mate, to be honest. Because he is just the most important player for us at the minute. Because obviously he's the top goal scorer. Yeah. Alan coming back with the Corey would be a massive boost for us in that midfield. I think we have missed him on some occasions. I know we got injured and we still won quite a few games, but he's got a bit of class about him that some of the other midfielders haven't. And him and Decore is a great partnership to have for the derby. Yeah. Mina will be missed. I think he's been one of our best players this season.
Yeah.
But I think Godfrey, if he goes in the centre with Keane, could do a job there, to be honest. I'd rather have Godfrey than Holgate.
Yeah. I agree. No, I agree, mate. Spot on. I agree. I think, like you said, team selection is going to be massive. If I see Gylfi Sigurdsson starting as a false nine, I don't think I'll bother watching, to be honest with you. So if Dom's back, I think it'll be massively important. Alan in that midfield will be really, really welcome back. And I agree. I think Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane as a centre back partnership are much safer, certainly for me, than Mason Holgate and Michael Keane are. Yeah, look.
Ben Godfrey got pace, mate, to deal with their forwards at the centre back. But can I just say, I think he's the fastest player I've ever seen for Everton, honestly. Yeah. I can't think of anyone faster than him.
No, I agree. I agree, and I don't even think he gets out of second gear half the time. I just think he just I'll have to do a bit of running here. I'll just put me foot on the gas a little bit. So yeah, in terms of that then, just to finish up briefly on the derby, what do we need to go and get the win? I think it goes beyond, certainly has done in previous years, goes beyond the personnel on the pitch. This is a mental game. Liverpool turned up in I wouldn't say a bad run of form at Goodison Park, but like I said, they just had their arses handed to us. They are very much a caged animal at the moment. They haven't won a game in the Premier League at Anfield for a few weeks now. They always come into Merseyside Derby with this complex mentality of we are much better than these. This shouldn't be a competition. We're gonna win, and we always seem to come into Merseyside Derby, certainly at Anfield, historically at least, with this: we aren't good enough to be here. We can't compete. Let's just settle for the draw, and then we can see one goal, and that's it. Edge just drop. I mean, we spoke. I don't want to talk any more about that derby defeat in the FA Cup a year ago, Carlo's first derby. But that was one of the worst performances I've ever witnessed as an Evertonian. Not only because we should have comfortably beaten that Liverpool team, but because, very much like Fulham, we just looked shook. We looked like we couldn't move. Every player looked like they were playing in quicksand, like they just didn't want to move. It goes further than personnel, doesn't it, and players on the pitch. This is a game that we're going to have to win mentally for me.
Yeah, the mental thing is a big part of it, but I don't think James Rodriguez and the new players will be thinking about that, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like, the Tottenham game at the start of the season, I think that was the last things on their mind. That we haven't won there for ages.
Yeah.
But there is probably a few players in that squad who might think that and have it in the back of their heads. What I'd like to see us do, like, not last night with our backs to the wall a little bit. I'd like to see us play like we did against Leicester away.
Yeah.
Defend them well, but hitting them on the counter when we can.
Yeah.
And well, trying to create chances when they're all... Because Liverpool will try and tackle us. They'll be desperate to get a win here.
Yeah.
And I would like to see a sort of performance like that, where we're defending them well, but have a great... Something about us in attack, if you get me. I mean, them 4 games over the December, I thought we were playing... perfect little balance there, and I'd like to see Everton get back into that for this one, because I think we'll need to. I think that'll be the best game plan.
Yeah, spot on. I agree, mate. I agree. Don't fear them. Don't fear this Liverpool team. They're a Liverpool team who've conceded a lot of goals this season. Not only conceding a lot of goals, they're a Liverpool team who are making a lot of defensive errors. Go and do what Leicester did and make them pay for those defensive errors. Force them into making defensive errors like Manchester City did to us yesterday, arguably, according to some Blues. I don't think we should fear them. I really don't. Will it be tough? Do we have to be sort of aware of their quality? Of course we do. They've still got some absolutely quality players, but I don't think we should fear them.
Well, that's why I'd rather us play like we did against Leicester and stuff, because they have got quality,
Yeah.
but we've got to also understand that we can hurt them on the attack.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because we have got quality up front. And I've seen a few people tweeting that James doesn't offer much. I would definitely 100% start him in this game, because he's one of our best players for sure. I would definitely start.
Exactly. If James is going to put pressure on Liverpool's back line, if any player, is going to put pressure on Liverpool's back line, defence, goalkeeper, by putting balls into dangerous areas, by playing players in, it's going to be James Rodriguez. It's not going to be Gylfi Sigurdsson. It's not going to be Andre Gomez. It's going to be James. So I agree, mate. I think the James stuff is just because in games like last night and against Fulham, he doesn't do a lot of running off the ball. So when we're not playing the ball into him, he doesn't do an awful lot. But look at his stats this season. You know, when we play well, he's at the forefront of everything. Nearly every goal we score, if he's on the pitch, he's at the forefront of it. Again,
I think he's brilliant.
I agree. I don't see where this stuff's come from. About, he offers nothing. Well, he very literally does offer everything in terms of goal scoring for us. It's not even an argument. He very literally offers everything going forward for Everton. Could he do a bit?
He's got something that no one else has got in our team.
Yeah.
No one's got. He's got
magical moments and a winning mentality, mate. And if we're going to beat them lot on Saturday, we need that winning mentality, and we'll probably need a magical moment or two. Union says, what do you think about the news of the new stadium? I think it's good. I think it's positive, but we'll wait and see what that committee says next week, and then I suppose we can have a real discussion on it. We spoke about it on the Mighty Blues earlier tonight. Kay says we also got him in a free. Exactly, cost less than that bottle of Volvic I've just been drinking down there. Whammy says, Godfrey, don't fear the red shites, nor the sun, or the wind, or the rain. Whammy says, ha, charmed, where's Phil? Ha, Cam is trying to duck us. Cam is so sneaky, don't underestimate the sneakiness. Semi says, Reds have a superiority complex, need to smash that with a win, let's hope so. Whammy says he'd play Keane right centre-back, Godfrey left centre-back, we will be okay-ish. But if we keep playing right centre-backs at left centre-back when Godfrey clearly should be left centre-back, I'll kick myself in the balls. That was a mouthful. Semi says, greetings fellow Blues. Dan says, James hasn't done a lot. Yeah, he's done everything going forward, mate. But you know what? It's an opinion, and fair enough.
Someone rang me then, sorry.
It's alright, no worries. Whammy says, hopefully Alan, Decore and Gomez play mid. I'd rather Alan, Decore and Davis personally. Ewan says, what do you think of James? I think he's been very good. Can he be better? Potentially, but I think he's been very good. Crew says, it's been that sort of season, showed a lot of fight but not a lot of quality. Whammy says, I agree Gavin, we are the cling of a scrape one team. It's not pretty to watch, but whether we win or lose, the problems are the same. There's no plan outside to cross it to Tom. And Gavin says, make me laugh, people saying it was City though. Fulham, West Ham, Leeds, Newcastle done the same to us. It's not just City, and that's where the issues come. It's not just Fulham, it's not just Manchester City beating us. That's understandable. They're a very good team. It's those sides that you've just mentioned there. Anyway, I'm gonna have to wrap it up there, mate. I'm gonna have to jump off. Massive thank you to everybody for watching it. If you have enjoyed this one, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second.
'Massive
thanks for joining me today, mate. Anything to say before we finish up?
think I always say it, but come on, you Blues.
Yeah, definitely. Up the toffee. Listen, check out Jordan's channel in the description down below. If you love films, if you love movies, which I'm sure most of us do, absolutely excellent YouTube channel. Just recently hit 800 subs as well. Deserves 1,000 more than anybody I know. So go over and drop him a sub, get him to 1k, and go and watch his videos as well. Absolutely brilliant content. If you want to follow us, the Mighty Blues on YouTube, we've done our City review today, as well as a video talking about Marcel Brands and Moise Keane and the stadium, etc. The Merseyside Derby preview will be live tomorrow around 2 o'clock-ish. So if you want to join us for that one, please do so. Massive thank you for watching. Big thanks to everybody as always. Massive thanks to everybody in the comments, and we'll see you soon on the Toffee Blues.